Oh, VIPs!
Welcome back, guys, to Squid Game, episode 7 of season numero uno. And we start this episode with the survivors returning for the 4th game, back to their room. I need to know what this room's called. Is it like the locker room, the warehouse room, the room? Like
The dorm,
the dorm? Yeah, we could call it the dorm.
the bedroom, the big bedroom,
I think we've been calling it the warehouse from the get-go, so we'll keep calling it that.
Squint house.
But they return to the warehouse and they discover Han Mi, aka Grandma, is still there. She was the only person not to get partnered up for the last game. A lot of people kind of thought that she would have died by not getting a partner. She would have been executed, but no, she wasn't. So
Tell you what, though, that would have been very unfair.
yeah, and considering this, the front man has prided himself on equality and giving everyone a fair chance. It kind of tells me that
Would have went against the ideology to just a job of it like that.
yeah.
And he didn't. He?
Now, I wonder what would have happened. Knowing what the next game is, I wonder what would have happened if our main guy didn't pick number one. Would number one have just was like, what would have? Oh, well, we can't. Well, we'll discuss that later on.
But I guess number one could have just pretended he jobbed it.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I want to talk about number one, but I can't get away spoilers.
But also another thing, what would have happened if like only 5 people were left for this bridge game?
No, I don't think anyone would have made it past
Well, that's it. Like, but what would have happened?
Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go, guys. And that's exactly the next game that we've got up.
Right, so we have the bridge game coming up. The VIPs get to the island. They're welcomed by the front man. The front man still trying to chase down the intruder, but at the same time he has to be there to welcome the VIPs because he says that the game master isn't there at the moment. The game master
He's busy dealing with an occurrence.
yeah, so he's doing it
pissed
for them.
himself.
They don't seem too happy. The VIPs seem like a bunch of obnoxious pricks anyway.
And they all seem gay. What the fuck are they going with here?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
White male privilege and they're all gay.
Yeah, so then back in the warehouse, we've got player 69 who beat his wife in the last game. In the marbles game, she died, and he's asking everyone to stop. And it's like, so you only want to stop just because now you've lost your wife? Did you not see that enough people were dying before the last game?
Very selfish is this guy.
Yeah, it's like
you just killed all your loved ones. No, but hold on here. You're like the only one that took on a family member.
yeah,
And
well,
that's-
he didn't know. Like,
He didn't know, like, but he could have let his wife live, and that's what anyone would have done in that situation. But this guy jobbed it.
or maybe his wife says, "Well, look, we've got
I know,
kids
but no,
at
but
home," and
true. But in their culture, they would let the woman live. I think because they're very more dominant and be like, you can go on and live. I think.
No, I don't know. I think the woman, maybe they had kids, and the woman says, "Look, there's more chance of you winning this game than me, so you go on and get home for the kids, survive for them."
So they've just left a 3-year-old at home while these two go and compete in the fucking murder games.
Maybe.
Carrot and 101, guys.
What I would like. So he kills himself. He hangs himself in the middle of the night. If he really wanted to die, he could have just sacrificed himself in the next game. It would have helped some people.
But I guess he didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I guess he didn't give a fuck. So anyway, wake up the next morning.
Coffin for 69.
Yeah, Coffin comes in, takes him away, and then they get taken to a room where they play the next game. There's a bunch of fests sitting there.
Ribs like a wee marathon.
The
bridge marathon.
Someone goes and randomly takes one first, and everyone else is looking. They don't really know. The rest of them then run and take the ones for the middle. So numbers 5 to 12 are taken.
Yep.
And it leaves just the first 4 and the last 4. The VIPs are watching it, and they call this herd mentality to stick in the middle. Which, I don't know if... I could understand sticking in the middle once you... Then there's an announcement, and the announcement says that the number you pick will be the number you play the next game. I mean, I could totally understand, yeah, going in the middle once you know it, but if you don't know, it's... Unless they
Middle
assumed...
is playing it safe though. Like obviously knowing this game, you would rather go last, but then at the same time, if people were going slow, going last, you were fucked. The bridge was just going to blow up, but thankfully it sped up towards the end.
I think I would always go last rather than go first.
Well, yeah, but I think it does depend on the game. But yes, more often than not, you'd rather go last than first. Because then it gives you experience to know what to do.
Well, I think the only game that would benefit you going first was maybe red light, green light.
Yeah.
Because if you're at the back, it gives you less chance to But then again, that's because there's a load of them there. If you've got the same amount of time as everyone else, it doesn't really matter whether you go first or last.
True.
So anyway, they walk into the game room and there's a big bridge. It's called glass stepping stones. They let us know that one of the glass is made of fiberglass that will break. The other glass is real glass that will hold up to 2 people. And you have to make your way across, choosing left or right. If you're successful, then you're on the right bit of glass and you have to jump onto the next one. If you're not successful, then you fall and you die, and that's it, game over for you.
Jigsaw.
Before this, though, it came down to number 1 and 16. Our guy,
Gun Ho.
Gun Ho. What's that his name?
Gun Ho, Gun Ho.
Gene High. I don't know. Gun Ho. Gun Ho. Gun Ho. He's looking at 1 and 16. He's like, oh, I don't want to go first, but can't go last. So he goes to pick number 1, and this other guy comes up and basically pleads for him. He says, look, I've been a coward my whole life. I've always ran away from things. You know, I've always let others face challenges and stuff. And he says he wants to be the first to do this. He wants to face this one head on, and he asks Gun Ho if he can swap and allow him to be number 1. So Gun Ho gives him the number 1 bib. He takes number 16. And then when it's announced what the game is, he kind of just turns around and gives him like the fucking dirtiest look ever. But mate,
you bastard.
you asked for number 1, so you know what, that's what it is. Contestants start going. They break and the 18. A lot of them are falling to their death here. Some then they get to the stage where some are even getting pushed off. The religious guy, number 6, he's like almost. He's not. I wouldn't say halfway through. I think he might be on like
a third of
panel 7 or something. And he just gets pushed off from behind because apparently he was taking too slow. Then it gets to the stage where Duke So is...
He was, what, number 9?
Yes, but it gets to the stage where he's first. He's next in line. And at this stage, I think they're just about over halfway.
Yep.
And he pretty much refuses to go on. He says that the only way people are going to survive and get past him is if
they do it for him.
Yeah, as if they do it for him. At this stage, Grandma pushes the guy behind him into him, who pushes off the bridge. He dies without even going through a panel. So that's one body they just wasted there, where they could have easily
got another step.
They could easily got another step.
But come in handy at the end.
Would have saved someone else. And then Grandma says that he's a coward and that she'll go. She jumps and he tells her to come on up. She jumps onto the glass panel. But she's kind of tricked him. She's not going to go. She just grabs him and then...
wraps her hands around him.
And he's like begging her to let him go. She says that he says that he'll go on if he lets her go. And she says he got a small dick. And then she just throws herself off the... throws herself through the glass and he flies off with her. And that's those 2 eliminated. So and again, there's another 2 people gone through a bit of glass. So far I'm counting... We've had... 2 people. It's just needless. We had someone who was told the wrong glass to go on when they already knew the right one, and that they died. The religious guy we had pushed through a bit of glass when he didn't need to, because apparently it was time wasting. Then we had the guy that was pushed into Doc Sue and he was pushed off.
And then we had 2 for the price of 1 here.
Now you could argue the religious guy. You could say that at least he was pushed onto a panel, so they knew the next one. But the other 2, the guy that was told the wrong panel to step onto, and the guy that was pushed into Doc Sue, I mean, that's 2 wasted. That's 2 wasted.
And another
bodies
thing, right?
there.
See Doc Sue, could he not have I tried a bit more here to get her off of him?
Yeah, it looks like
he's the strong. It was said even ages ago, and there was loads of them. He was the strongest guy there, which I would have agreed with. And he can't even attempt to get her off him.
You know.
Bit fucking stupid. Like.
She was holding on to Doc Sue as if he was a fucking kitchen man. She didn't want to let go.
I know.
But anyway, they're both eliminated. A couple of other people get eliminated. Then it comes down to 4. We've got our 3 main characters at the back.
Glass guy.
And a guy that apparently used to make glass. So he says he can read it. And I don't think he's bullshitting, because then he begins to get them all right. The VIPs are looking. They don't think this is very fair. They check his history. Apparently he was a glass maker or whatever. He gets down to the last one and they turn the lights off on him.
Shaft.
Unfortunately, can't see. He asks the other contestants to have anything they can throw. Our guy, Jung-Soo, Jun-Hoo, Ji-Hung.
Aye, Ji-Hun.
Ji-Hun.
Ji Jung-Soo.
Right. Has a marble.
From number 1.
But he only has one, and the guy needs 2 marbles because he needs to test both bits of glass. But he only has one, so he's kind of left there not knowing what to do. The time's run out, there's about 20 seconds left, and it's at this stage Chu Sang jumps up and says, "I'll pick for you," pushes him forward through the tempered glass. This guy falls to his death, and then with about just under 10 seconds left, it gives Chu Sang, KC, and Chung Wo enough time to get over the bridge and get to the other side and complete this challenge.
Like, I'm not saying, guys, this was a good thing to do on behalf of a lawyer, but at the same time, how long are you supposed to wait here? Because we've seen at the end of the game where the whole bridge blows up. You wait any longer, and maybe our main man doesn't get across.
Yep. I mean, maybe our guy should have just turned around and says to him,
"Look, I'm going to push you here if you don't fucking hurry up."
aye, you know.
It probably should have done that, but at the same time, I think he was just fucking pissed off and he didn't want to put his own life in any more danger.
You know, I think Sang Wo could have definitely says to him, "Here, you need to pick one now or we're all dead." But at the same time, the last guy, player 0717, he could have been waiting for like 2 seconds to go.
And then job the other for it.
And he could have been thinking, here, if I get this right, I win the game. If I don't, well, we're all dead anyway.
Exactly.
So, maybe pushing him was the right thing to do.
Maybe.
But it is what it is. They get to the end, the glass shatters, and it looks like there may be a couple of injuries because the glass kind of flies into some of the players. Now, away from the game, the VIPs were, getting drunk and all that, betting on who they thought was going to survive. Some big pedo bastard wanted to rape the detective. What's the detective name? Jung Ho.
John Ho.
Jung Ho.
He wanted to Joe Ho.
He wanted to Jung Ho. Took him into the room, but Jung Ho starts battering him and gets him to, I'm assuming, to confess on camera because it looks like that's what happened. And then he made his escape from the island.
This guy was a fat bastard.
This guy was a fat bastard. But, I mean, that's pretty much it then, guys, for this episode of Squid Games. Probably my favourite game out of the 6. And, but they could, if there was more people alive, then, well, I know, basically, obviously, but if there was more people alive going into this game, the more survivors there would have been going into the next round. Like, I think the final round's designed for more than just 3 people to be alive, but that's what it is.
Yeah, I agree with that, but that's the way the cookie crumbles in the end, guys. And we've got to dish out our episode rating. I'm going to give this episode...
I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, I would give it more, but I just feel like it was some parts of it was very stupid with the bridge. But I guess that's more down to characters than actual episodic writing. You get me?
Aye.
So that's what out of 70, that is 49 out of 70.
No bad.
Not bad for Squid Game. What's it going to finish on? Only 2 more episodes to go. And until then...
Peace.